Good morning, beautiful. It's great to see you. It's good to be outside. And as you can tell, it's dry, but it's cold, and you can hear the wind in the trees up there, which you can't actually see because they're behind the other trees. But trust me, there's a wind, but it's all stopped by this hill, which is really nice. Good morning, Mike. So here's the garden, and it's terraces, and you can see that the granny's bonnet is just about finished, but you know, let's enjoy it all the same. It's beautiful. There's just a few of the blue flowers left. What's starting to happen though is, oh look, we've got a bumblebee, we've got Campanula Elizabeth, that's its name, and there's more here. Good morning, Amy. It's probably afternoon or evening for you, but here it is. More. I just love this. Let me show you the inside. You sort of think it looks ordinary, and then you see inside and it's just fabulous. All those spots. So yeah, and look at the shape of the flowers as they hang. It's just beautiful. Very leftover last bits of a cineraria. I've got to take that out, but you know, this is the really exciting thing that's just happening, is this cassia bush is coming into flower. Good morning, Linda. Look at this, aren't they fabulous? These gorgeous yellow flowers. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Derek. It's great to see you. Good morning, Jessica, when you jump on. Thank you for tagging your friend. It's a great compliment if you share me with your friends. So I'm just enjoying sharing these flowers with you. And look at the leaves. I love that this bush has all these different colours on it, practically all year round. And we have this faithful purple campanula that's always going. I don't think it ever really stops. Look inside. See the little curly bits on the end of the, I don't know, the stamen pistil, whatever. My plant geography is not very good, but it's great to be able to share it with you. So there's another one. You can see it just goes up and up and up. And there's another campanula there which hasn't come up with flower heads yet. This I have to pull off. If this grass runs to seed, it's bad. Excuse me. Just a little maintenance here. There we go. That won't cause problems. And we have lemons and flowers coming along. Yeah, the cassia is amazing. The nicest thing about this is that it's a little seedling that I found. I thought, I know what that is. And now it's growing. So we'll be back here because you can see the whole bush is going to cover itself. And in case anyone wonders, this is a weird thing. This is a thing called a walking onion. And it's called walking because, can you see there are teeny tiny little onion bulbs there? And they fall over and then make more. So we eat them a little bit, but I also just like them because they're interesting. So, right, get to the subject. So here's the garden. Oh, something else I have to show you before we get onto it is the fact that this massive climbing rose is about to burst. You know, so we'll just look at a few of the early flowers. Oh, look, we have a little insect friend here saying, oh, you're going to shoo me away? No, we're just going to enjoy you. So, that's coming attractions. Here's the soldiers and sailors, still flowering. Looking a little rain-washed, but isn't the foliage fabulous? It's just so much to show you this time of year. It's actually between acts, okay? This is geranium foliage. Good morning, Jan. And, oh look, the first nigella's come out. Isn't that glorious? Love in the mist. And there's a lot of it. I let it seed, I let it run into flower and go wild, and it's all mixed up in a hydrangea, and that's fabulous. Oh, let's get it close again. It's so beautiful. I only have the one colour, that's just what I happened to get. You can see here this one's already gone to seed, one of the first flowers, and it's all happening. So we still have some snow in summer, but it's starting to finish. And look, this is exciting. This is very exciting. We have Japanese iris coming, and in the background we have rather battle-worn Spanish iris, and there's a Siberian one, that purple one. It's a bit tired. But yeah, there's a lot happening here, and we haven't been up here for ages. Look at these. So let me go back down the steps without falling over. Remember this when it was covered in flowers in the spring? Now it's all leaves. Okay, let me get to the subject, otherwise we'll just be gardening, which is lovely, but, let's talk about self-love, right? And self-love is one of those things which is just, I don't know, people get all tied up in knots about it, and so did I, because I didn't really understand what it is that I need to do if I'm going to really love myself. And it's not what I thought. I guess what I thought was I had to think happy thoughts and I had to talk to myself lovingly and be kind to myself, and all of that comes from making good choices for yourself, which is self-love, yes. Carrie Ann, good morning, sweetie. But what I have learned is that real self-love, and this is something I learned from my inspiration, Joe Dispenza. I did not figure this out on my own. Real self-love, of the kind that kind of sits in my soul and doesn't go away and is kind of solid and reliable and dependable, and it's just there, Hope I'm making sense of this. That only comes when I overcome my limitations and I become who I want to be. I do the work inside myself and I transform myself. And the process of overcoming myself and becoming who I want to be, well, of course, because I'm in the process of creating who I want to be. I'm starting to think and imagine and explore and embody and all of that. So you can't gain it, you can only grow it, Carrie Ann. This is such a good topic, and I thought, let's talk about it. So it grows within you when you face yourself enough and create the self that you want to be, and step by step, day by day, moment by moment, move into becoming that self. Now, how does that develop real self-love? Well, here's the thing. If you are feeling lack, whatever it is, we feel lack, we feel sadness, whatever. You're feeling that, you want to have a different experience. That means you want to become the person that's having that experience, right? And the way we do this, the way I do this, the way I have learned to do this from Dr. Joe, whom I love to bits because of what I learned from him, is that you've got to fall in love with a new future. You literally have to put more intention and energy and love and care and, onto your future than onto your past and your failures and who you are at the moment, which is the product of your past, right? So focusing on who you are now and the problems and how it is and how to fix it is all about the past, and that's not going to get you something new. So we have to create a new self, and we have to start to conceptualize and imagine and explore and embody and become and breathe and taste and smell and everything that self. And in the process of doing that, because remember, you get a clear intention, and then it might take you 11 months like it did me, but you eventually get an elevated emotion. And when you pair those things up, you're sending a coherent signal to the universe that says, give me more of this. This is who I am being. And that elevated emotion, sooner or later, you're going to be loving on your future, which means you're loving on the self that you're becoming. You're loving on you. And the more you love on you in the future, in the you that you want to be, the more you make it real now, the more you experience yourself as that now. And by the time that self is you, you are thoroughly in love with it. You're thoroughly in love with who you've become. And I understand this from my own personal experience now. I really am falling in love more and more and more with myself every day because of who I'm becoming. And it's the me that I've chosen to become. And believe me, it's a very different me from who I was. Oh my God. And it's a me that 2 years ago, not quite 2 years ago now, 2 years next April, whatever, that I could not have imagined that it was possible for me to become. It grows, like we talked about it yesterday. It grows in you. You only plant an acorn and you water it and it puts on one little leaf and you think, how in hell can that become an oak tree? But if you keep watering it, keep looking after it, keep loving on it, eventually it's going to grow and it's going to get bigger, right? And that's the neural net inside our heads. We talked about that yesterday. And I'm really aware that the whole thing of generating elevated emotions drives some people insane because they just can't. And there's a group that I belong to. It's like 83,000 people in it of Joe Dispenza's students, and somebody asked a question about that yesterday, and I thought, I don't know, but this morning when I woke up I knew what I wanted to, I'll go into the group and write my own answer, and it's about, you got to open your heart. And I couldn't do that. I didn't even know how to do that. I couldn't even open my heart to myself. And there's an interesting, I think this is valid, interesting thing for me. This was pivotal. The pandemic happened, right? Dear Joe, who loves nothing more than to go from place to place doing the advanced workshops because he gets to see transformation, he gets to measure it, he gets to make more science, he gets to understand more things about how this works, and and teach it better and see more people heal themselves and all that. That vibes him up. That's what he loves doing. Couldn't do that. So, there he is, stuck in his beautiful place in where he lives. And not too long after the whole pandemic thing sort of hit and everyone was locked down and going, oh my God, where's my life? It's all changed. I've lost everything. The whole world was on its ear. He decided to create an antidote for COVID-19, and he called it Go Love 20. And the whole thing about this little 15-minute meditation really is that it's an opportunity to open your heart to someone you love. And there was a process that he wrapped around it where, you would actually send a message to a person, say, hey, I love you, I'm just thinking of you, and I'm going to do this meditation, so, enjoy it, feel the love, and if you want to, you can do this too. So it was like a little virus. It was a happy virus. It was a love virus. And I think about 500,000 people ended up doing that. Now, when it came out, I looked at this, and I couldn't even face doing it. I could not face the thought of opening my heart to anybody. It was just, no, too painful, no. And then a few weeks later, it wasn't very long, he brought out a mutation. He said, the virus is going to mutate, because about that time there was mutations being talked about. So we're going to do another one. He just got inspired. He did another one that called You Inspired Me. You Inspire Me. And the whole thing is 13 minutes. And you allow yourself to be inspired by someone. And I did that one first because I could actually handle that. And because the only person that I really have connected with in any way, shape or form who truly inspired me is Joe, tells you something weird about me, I first did it allowing myself to be inspired by him. So I did that. And after a week or so, and it's like I kind of fell in love with the process. So I thought, I can do this, and I can, I'm starting to work at opening this heart, which I realised was slammed shut for whatever reason. And I don't know, a few weeks later, I decided to do Go Love 20. And again, the only person I felt safe to open my heart to was actually Joe. Bring him in my awareness and say, here you are, I'm doing this. And I cried buckets of tears, and it was just so unfamiliar and unknown to me. It was very strange and almost fearful to do this. In fact, it was fearful. It's like, oh God, someone's going to swipe me. I had to learn to open my heart. It was a skill, and I was very bad at it, right? Remember we said yesterday we get so good at feeling bad. Well, I was practicing a new skill, because when you open your heart, you feel good. You do. And it was scary, and it was hard, and it was difficult. And I did this with Joe for a little while, because I know he's bullshit free. He faces himself every day in the unified field, and if you do that, you cannot be full of shit. You simply can't lie to yourself in the unified field, and it's very hard then to lie to others, because you're going to have to face yourself the next day and know that you've been full of shit. It just stops being who you are when you do that. So I did Go Love 20 with him for however long it was, and I could go back to my meditation diary and find out. I make notes, and this is weird, this is strange, like getting into a very hot pool or a very cold pool and trying to adapt to it. And then I did the thing that I knew I really needed to do. I did the meditation with my mother. She's still alive. She is no monster at all. She loved me. But I had all this pain. And I slammed my heart shut, and it was painful. It was hard. I had to face myself. I had to overcome myself to open my heart to her. But I did it because I was more committed to becoming the person that knows how to love and can give love and receive love with an open heart, which is vastly different to giving it and receiving it with a heart that's kind of fearful of being swatted. I just had to do it. And, that was pivotal to me. I think that was probably, I say it took me 11 months to feel joy. I think was March. It's about 11 months after I started working with Joe's work. And I think that was when I had my first real experience of joy. Something flipped on in me, finally. So, I overcame myself, and I'm so proud of myself for doing that, and for building on it since then. Oh my God, the level of love that I am able to feel and to give, and more than that, what I'm doing now, really tackling unworthiness, because here I am, I'm bloody brilliant, I know I help people, I know I make a great change, and I'm getting not very much money. It's like, how's that work? How am I still keeping this out? It's me. It is totally me. So, amazing changes inside me. And I love the person I'm becoming. Because I know who I used to be. And I love that person too, because she got me here. And that kind of self-love, it goes way beyond telling yourself kind things. It goes way beyond thinking kind thoughts, although all of that is vital and valuable, and I do that too, right? But when you face up to yourself and your deep internal resistance, because it's so programmed and it's so habitual, and you do not want to go somewhere else because it feels really, really wrong. But you know that on the other side of that intense internal fight is the freedom you desire, is the love you desire, the abundance, the love, the whatever it is. And you love yourself enough to go through it. And, when I was doing that, I wasn't forcing myself. No, I wasn't. I was not pushing hard, but I was making a very deep choice to let go, to surrender, to risk. God, it was a risk. It was really a deep emotional risk to first open my heart to anybody. And I was like, yeah, I know this energy is not going to hurt me. It's not going to make me feel small. It's not going to ridicule me. It's not going to come in, I don't know, whatever it was I was scared of. It's not going to do that. Okay, let me do this. Oh, God. And then to allow myself to do that with my mother, where, I had constructed, and I understand it now. I get it now. I didn't then, but I understand now. I had constructed a really deep wound between me and my mother. Nothing to do with her. It's just about who I am, where I've come from, and, tra-la-la. Story, see, I don't care. I've overcome that self. And the self that I'm becoming, I just love, because I've loved on that self, and I have been dedicated to that self, and I have done what that self required enough to grow to become the oak tree. It's like, of course I love myself. I put all that energy and attention and care into that self. So, there's degrees and layers of self-love. There really are. And I just want to talk about it from my own experience, what it means to me. Really, you want to love anybody, you got to love yourself. And to love yourself, you got to learn how to open your heart. And you have to do it when it doesn't want to, because it's scared of getting hurt. Fundamentally, if your heart is slammed shut and you find that you just can't feel elevated emotions, that's why. You got hurt and you shut down. And it may have been somebody's fault, or it may have been nobody's fault. With me, it was nobody's fault. It's just what happened. everybody doing the best they could. And it just didn't happen to be what I needed. I don't think anybody could have given me what I needed, because I know what I needed now, and it was impossible. So you see, to love yourself, to really feel self-love, you got to put enough determination and courage and choice and choosing you and overcoming the who you are to become who you want to be. And when you do that, you're going to love yourself so through and through. You can't imagine. You can remember who you were, but you can't imagine going back to that. It's amazing to be this proud of myself, really. To know who I've become, and to know also that the things that are going to come, there'll be challenges, there'll be, whatever. But to know that I have more trust in myself to be able to deal with that. Because I'm an oak tree now. The storms will come. They're not going to knock me over. And the storm will be scary and hard and whatever, but it's not going to bowl me over like it used to when I was just a kind of a tumbleweed and with no sense of self. And I was a tumbleweed with no sense of self. None at all. Oh, my God. It's all about who you're becoming. And when you put all that love and attention and commitment and dedication into becoming the person that you want to be, you love that person the more you become them. And that's self-love to me. So, thanks for joining with me. Great conversation. Looking forward to whatever we talk about tomorrow. Big love. Bye-bye.